This is part 2 of my EHS update, and we'll go into my last days in the end times. So, where was I? Transformed by the book of Job. I have no fear, no anger of this disease. Go home and heal. Never underestimated God's power. If you lose sight, just read the book of Job, especially chapters 39, sorry. Amazing how God, He has intricately, slowly, discreetly removed from my life the aspects upon which I no longer need. Just like in the death process, God has created our bodies with such infinite wisdom. The hearing is the last to go. I pray that every day of the rest of my life on this earth, I thank God for what He is removing and what He is bringing in. At this time in my life, where my lifeline to the culture is nil to none, my passions of long ago, God has reignited. I am painting ceramics, working on picture projects with my grandkids. God has gifted me with a new green thumb, and we are growing a food forest. He has showed me how this younger generation has no idea where food comes from. They think it's from the store. So I want them to see how and where it comes from. In the meantime, the city girl, wannabe country girl, is learning all about God's amazing gifts in nature. Something I never appreciated. But it takes things like this to make you wake up and smell the roses, so to speak. I love helping my grown adult kids and grandkids with everyday tasks that just keep a home operating and running. I clean, I help with laundry, ironing, and some cooking. I was a night owl that is now up between 4 and 5 a.m. so I can enjoy my quiet time with the Lord. My Bible study, I relish this time and look forward to it. I need it. I've cleared out my makeup vanity area and converted it into a painting Bible study station. I will show you my life and all the glory of my 62 years I owe to the Lord. I am grateful for EHS because it provided a platform for me to gain my spiritual ground. I have never had such a close walk with Christ as I do today. My body, life, and fate are in God's hands. Even though my journey has had some very torturous moments, I sit in wonder of God's grace and mercy. Be smart. Do your research. First, learn how God wants us to live. Then adhere to it. I have many people above my immediate family to thank. Key people who have helped me to learn how to build my broken down immune system up. To learn and choose natural remedies over medical industry. I have been surrounded by my kiddos who had been sick with colds and flus. This was back in the end of January, the beginning of February, and I do believe now that they had the coronavirus, and they survived it. All the symptoms are exactly the same. It wasn't like a normal cold flu. It was a good 3 weeks, and it was not pretty at all. I have been surrounded by my kiddos who have been sick with fevers over a week, and I have yet to get it. I will begin signals, but it never hangs on for more than a day. I want my life to totally reflect the Lord. I hope to maintain my health as long as possible. I also know God's plans for me outweigh any plans I might have. He is the infinite God. So I had finished there. January 15th, the day before my diagnosis, my daughter was sick. I didn't know it at the time. She wasn't feeling well, and then she went to the doctor appointment with me, and she just pushed through to get me through what I needed. After that started 3 weeks of my family being sick. January 15th began 3 weeks of cold, flu, fevers, coughs. Everyone but my daughter-in-law, granddaughter-in-law, and I got it. I would get symptomatic for a day or two, and then it would be gone. I never had a fever. Those weeks showed me a lot. Again, I was stressed, frustrated, angry. Of course, a house full of sickies want bed rest, TV, and fluids. So devices and Wi-Fi were on sporadically a lot. My normal routine was dependent on my kiddos living their lives out of the house. My body was good for a good 6 to 8 hours. So my routine was 4 to 5 a.m. Bible study, 6 a.m. morning routine with my grandson, get him off to school. I kept the house clean, dishes done, stocked toilet paper. Oh my goodness, we have toilet paper then. Filled up soap dispensers, take out trash, occasionally cook. You know, all those behind the scenes chores that keep the house operating. This way, my kiddos could just live life without the mundane chores. Eventually, they will have to. For now, it made me feel helpful and useful. It worked. I was happy, content, and at peace. Then March came. I already had in my journals, and I'm not going to I'm not going to read from here on out. This is kind of going to lead into what I call my last days during end times. And that came from the Lord. Around in February, the end of February, the Lord started laying things on my heart that I was seeing happening in the world. But 6 years ago, he basically told me what was going to happen. He showed me what was going to happen. How it transpired was going to be a mystery, whether it was going to be, a man-made storm, earthquake, tornado, hurricane, gun confiscation, pandemic, famine. Who knew how they were going to roll out the New World Order? But I knew that by them rolling out the New World Order, that it would not be in our best interest. And so anything for us that they do at this point, the government does, is not in our best interest. So coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever they want to call it. Our lives began to turn upside down. I'm writing this on March 25th, and I'm sitting in my meditational room, where I come out to medicate, to deal with Wi-Fi on, laptop, cell phones, TVs, that kind of thing, in the house. I live with my oldest daughter, her oldest son, who is married, his wife, and their almost 5-year-old son, and my almost 6-year-old grandson, her youngest son, and my little doggy Princess. She's right there watching, waiting very patiently for me. She's not patient out here. But this is my meditational room. My medication room is the garage. It's a little room off the garage. And if we stay here, if my daughter's talking about moving, I might make it more meditational. But I want to share more about what has happened. My life as I knew it, again, is gone. The life that I built here in California, my routine is gone. Just like many, many other people's is gone, due to the coronavirus and trying to slow the spread. And so the world has to be on basic quarantine per the government. So that came March 11th, a global pandemic announcement by our President Trump. And a whole task force is being done. I'm not going to go into details about that. I have a whole nother theory, and it has nothing to do with the coronavirus. I do believe that the vaccine for the virus has the virus or has viruses. I do believe the tests are rigged and will be randomly chosen to be given to the older people that they want to depopulate. So once the vaccine is implemented, then there will definitely be a pandemic and people will die left and right. And also they are implementing 5G, which will pretty much kill me. Anybody that has EHS knows that once they flip the switch with 5G, it's going to kill a lot of people, just because of the health risks that are involved. Unless God has another plan for me, this is what he's been preparing me for, personally. And I know death, and he knows I know death, and he taught me death for a reason. I have been surrounded by death all my life. I know it. I can smell it. I can sense it. I can feel it. I can see it. And I know that he has been preparing me for death. Whether it's my death, I don't know. I know my body. I know my symptoms. I know my EHS. I know frontal lobe atrophy. I know all those things that the medical industry, the telecom industry has given me. But I know my God's bigger. And I know that if he doesn't want me to carry this affliction anymore, he will heal my body of it. And he will allow me to be able to withstand the EMF and EMR. I don't see that. I don't feel that. Especially now knowing that the 5G is going to get rolled out, and that will have to be proven. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of people seeing white vans, trucks. But my struggle came once this was announced of I jumped from 1 to 0. I mean, 1 to 100 in 2 seconds flat because I know what's coming. So I threw a lot of information to my kids that was way before they were ready for it. And I knew I needed to back up because I started seeing this fear all over their faces of, they were already losing their lives, basically, their work, their jobs, their school. My granddaughter-in-law is having to work from home and school from home, and her son. And my oldest is a nurse, and so she's at a charge nurse at a children's hospital locally. So she has to work nights, and her son is handled during the day by all of us. I have always been a frontline defender. I'm up. I run to death. I don't. When people run away from it, I run to it, and that's just how the Lord has had me for a reason. And I really, really, and truly feel and felt that He was preparing me all of that for a final battle. Was this that final battle? I don't know that, but I didn't want my place to be. I wanted my place to be front and center. I wanted to be the frontline defender. I wanted to be out there with the kids and tell them this is what you need to do. This is where you need to go. This is what you need to stock up on. This is what you need to get guns and ammo, and you need to get food. And I've always stocked water. I've always saved water. So that was not a real issue. But all of a sudden, this coronavirus came up with a whole TP, toilet paper run. I don't even know what to call it. I really believe that crisis actors were filmed doing that so that it would start people panicking over toilet paper. And so then they did. My kids just kicked into gear. They did what they needed to do. They keep doing what they need to do. They're, not inundating themselves with all the false information out there. But my role was shifted again, and I didn't handle it very well. On the 18th, so for a week, I basically was feeling a lot of stress, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of fear, a lot of praying. But I was trying to be helpful and help the kids and do what I normally did, and that didn't go over well at all because it stresses my body out. The thing with EMR and EMF and EHS is that my body literally is in a stressed mode, in a fight or flight mode all the time. I have to get up and douse my body with lavender all over to keep my body at a lower level, so that once I maybe go by a cell phone or the TV's on, it kind of starts to go up, and it goes up, and it goes up. So I help myself by starting low. And I am taking pills that I didn't want to ever have to do again, gabapentin, which is not a good one, but it does help with the nerves. And I use cannabis, and that is the only thing that really helps. Keeps me in a peaceful place. It keeps my body pain free. It keeps my anxiety down. It has so many other health benefits, but at this point I'm all about comfort. So that's my whole goal. It's not about trying to extend my life. It's not about trying to help my life. It's about trying to live with this body, with this technology that is surrounding me. And now with 5G being rolled out, of course, those fears, go up. And so I have to give it to the Lord again and say, okay, you're in control. This is your body. My soul is yours. So whatever's going to happen to my body, it's going to happen. He's going to let it happen. And I know that I'm going to come out a better person because of it. So I don't have that tortured anger, frustration feeling anymore. This time with this shift, it took me about a week to get in line with what the Lord had planned for me. And He shifted me again from the frontline defender to Intel, which is kind of at the back of the bus. I mean, it's important. I'm not saying it's not important. It's very important, and I'm all about Intel. But I want to know what's going on. I want to be front and center. I want to be the EMS. I want to be the first responders. I want to be the one that's out there, and especially my children, making sure that they're okay and they're getting everything they need, and that they know what is coming and what's around the corner. I want to be able to do all of that. And the Lord has just basically said, get out of my way. Get out of my way. It's like a little indignant, because I was like, what? What are you talking about? These are my kids. I got to take care of them. I got to help them. I got to protect them. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I got this. This is their lessons. You've already got it. This is their lessons. Oh my God. So what do you do as a mom and a grandma? Knowing what's coming, knowing martial law is around the corner, knowing that quarantine is keeping us locked down and we're going to be rats in a cage, knowing that they're going to make the food shortage, knowing that they're going to force vaccines, knowing all that's coming. End times. Okay? I'm just like, Lord, this goes against everything in my body, in my motherly, grandmotherly instinct to just step back. And then my kids showed me, my daughter showed me my peaceful place, my sense of peace is a part of their sanity through this. That if I start creating fear within them by too much information, then they're going to tailspin. That I have to trust the Lord, that the Lord protects them better than I could ever protect them, and that there's lessons in this for them that are not my lessons. They weren't the lessons I needed, that I had. So I basically have had to back up, back off, and just get intel from the Lord. Just stay in my peaceful place and get the information that I need, that He wants me to share with them. There's information He wants me to share with people. There's information He wants me to share with you. There's people, there's my family. There's just for me. This, I wanted to make sure that everybody out there can see that life throws us a lot of curveballs, and we have to adapt. And I could have made my children's life living hell had I stayed hell-bent on what I believed was my mission, what I believed God wanted me to do, instead of being open to what He wanted for me, and that He needed me to get out of the way for my children to learn what they needed to learn. My children are 40 and 38 and 24 4 and 5 and 6, and they're grown adults. They got this, and I have to trust that. And my daughters have said to me, you're no longer a coach, Mom, you're our cheerleader. We need you to be our cheerleader. We need you to stay in your peaceful place. We need you to, you've done it. You've given us all the information. Now let the Lord do his work. Wow. Wow. I don't even know yet how to respond to that. I'm still trying to deal with my life. And my life consists of this. I get up when I want. I have my Bible study. I journal. I do dishes if I want to. I help out for maybe an hour if I can. I get myself showered. I get myself, lavendered up. I eat. I come out to my special spot and I meditate. And Princess, if you're going to whine, you're going to go to the house. She gets very impatient. She is not an outside dog. That's her. I'm ready. Let's go. Going in circles. So I come out and I basically have to stay medicated throughout the day because now pretty much 5 to 7 days a week the Wi-Fi is on, TV is on, she has a work phone and a cell phone are on. And it's okay because I don't feel tortured anymore. I don't even have all of the symptoms that I had. I have maybe half of them now. The one thing that I keep learning over and over again is that my pain, my wounds, my thoughts, my feelings, my fears, my anger, my frustration, my anxiety feeds this EHS. So if I'm already upset about something, it's going to make the anxiety and the emotions 5 times worse. So for my kids to stay sane through this time, I need to stay in my peaceful place. And my peaceful place is when I'm always with my head in the Bible, my heart and soul in prayer. And I'm always sitting out here when I medicate and I just pray and I ask God to lead me and guide me to where he wants me to be, to what he wants me, how he wants me to be more of him and less of me. And I'm telling you right now, so many people are going through this quarantine of what I went through a year ago because I basically was quarantined. I probably in a year have gone out and ate maybe 10 times. Once a month I will go out and do my errands, and it always takes me now about a week to get over. March 3rd I went and spent 6 hours because I knew what was coming. So I made myself buy extra. I made myself go to extra stores, and it took me about 6 hours to get everything done, and it took me about a week to get over that. It wasn't even so much the going into the stores where before I would get headache and heart palpitations and nauseated and overall sick feeling. I don't feel that now. I don't even feel it. It's after. It's when I come home and I'm away from it and my body starts to go through what I call overstimulation mode. It's just like it's like I can feel my pulse throbbing through my whole body. I can't relax. I can't get my body to unwind, to settle down, to not feel the stressed feeling. It takes hours to be able to do that, and then I'm fatigued and weak, and it takes days before I'm better. So going out and eating is not pleasant. Going out and running to the store is not pleasant. It doesn't have the get up and go, I want to do this, feeling that I used to have. Yeah, let's go shopping. Yeah, let's go into the restaurant. Yeah, let's go out to eat. Yeah. Don't feel that anymore. I'm like, I don't want to go out there. I get major anxiety if I have to go. I have to talk myself. I have to do a lot of self-talk to get out there and, just go run a couple of errands. So, because my doggy is whining at me and I have to go potty and I still have to medicate, I'm going to shut this down and take her inside and go potty. But I want to leave all of you with a thought. And that is that in these circumstances that are just unprecedented, very difficult for everybody, a lot is going to be lost. Your life isn't going to be the same as it was when you started the shutdown, the lockdown, the quarantine, the martial law, whatever you want to call it. But I'm telling you, pain has purpose. And there is a reason for all of this. And if you just allow yourself to let God work in your heart, let Him change you, since He can't change the circumstance. And I guarantee you, you will be a better person for it. I ask you to please watch your devices, learn about EMF, learn about EMR, learn about electromagnetic hypersensitivity, find out what they're not telling you, because people are dying and getting very, very sick from these devices and what's coming off of them. So I love you guys. God bless you. And always remember Psalm 144:1.